The digestive system aids in the process of the body turning the food we eat into nutrients. The body uses these nutrients for energy, growth, and cell repair. The digestive tract is a long twisting tube that starts at the mouth and ends at the anus. It is made up of a series of muscles that coordinate the movement of food and other cells that produce enzymes and hormones to aid in the breakdown of food. The mouth is the very beginning of the digestive tract. Digestion begins with the process of mastication or chewing. Mastication is the process by which food is crushed and ground by teeth. Mastication increases the surface area of the foods to allow more efficient breakdown by enzymes. During the mastication process, the food is positioned by the cheek and tongue between the teeth for grinding. The primary function of the teeth is to break down food and prepare it for the digestion process. There are 3 types of teeth, each specializing in a certain area to help the mastication process. Incisors, which are located in the front of the mouth, are meant for cutting food. Canines, or bicuspids, are specialized in tearing food. And molars, located in the back of the mouth, specialize in grinding food. The tongue is a small organ made up of several pairs of muscles covered in a thin, bumpy, skin-like layer. The outside of the tongue is covered in rough papillae that assist in gripping food as it is moved by the tongue's muscles. The taste buds on the surface of the tongue detect taste molecules in the food and connect to nerves in the tongue to send taste information to the brain. The tongue also helps to push food towards the posterior part of the mouth for swallowing. Salivary glands function to produce saliva. The saliva produced by these glands is used to moisten food, making it easier to travel through the digestive system. There are 3 salivary glands, the parotid, sublingual, and submandibular. The parotid glands are located in front and below each ear, the sublingual is located under the tongue, and the submandibular are located on each side of your jaw, below the jawbone. Located in the throat is the pharynx, which houses the tonsils and salivary glands. The pharynx is responsible for the passing of masses of chewed food from the mouth to the esophagus. The pharynx is a chamber where the senses of smell and taste are blended together. Also in the larynx is the epiglottis. The epiglottis is a flap of tissue located at the posterior base of the tongue. It locks down over the larynx when swallowing food. The esophagus is the muscular tube that connects the pharynx to the stomach. The esophagus carries chewed up food, now called bolus, all the way to the stomach through the process of peristalsis. Peristalsis is a wave-like contraction of the muscles in the esophagus that force the food down. At the end of the esophagus is the cardiac sphincter, which is a muscular doorway to the stomach. Its function is to trap food in the stomach and prevent it from coming out.
The stomach is a muscular sac that expands and contracts to digest food for between 1 and 4 hours, which turns it into chyme. The lining of the stomach secretes pepsin through the cell walls. This enzyme is made up of pepsinogen and hydrochloric acid, and it makes the stomach acidic with a pH of 3, and allows for the stomach to begin the breaking down of proteins. Within the stomach there is the fundus, which is the upper portion of the stomach. The fundus stores the gas that is produced as a byproduct of digestion and absorbs it. Also in the stomach are the rugae, which are the folds in the stomach wall that allow for the stomach to expand to store and digest more food due to the increased surface area for absorption. In order to begin digestion in the stomach, food must pass through the cardiac sphincter, which is the muscular valve that closes to seal the entrance to the stomach. Similarly, the pyloric sphincter is the muscle that regulates the exit of chyme from the stomach into the small intestine. Both of these sphincters play an important role in preventing the regurgitation of food in the digestive system. The duodenum is the first loop of the small intestine that starts the major absorption of materials into the bloodstream by using the pancreas and gallbladder along with peristalsis to break down and absorb the necessary nutrients from food. Additionally, it uses Brunner glands to counter the acidity of the stomach and give chyme a pH of around 9. The digestion of fats finally begins in the duodenum with the introduction of the gallbladder secreting bile. Bile is produced in the liver and stored in the gallbladder until it is eventually secreted into the duodenum, so that it can begin the emulsification. This works similarly to the rugae in the stomach in the sense that breaking down fat increases the surface area of digestion. The pancreas, apart from producing insulin for the bloodstream, helps the final digestion that occurs in the duodenum by secreting pancreatic juice. This juice allows for the digestion of protein to be completed after being started in the stomach. This juice also aids in the digestion of carbohydrates, fats, and nucleic acids. The jejunum is the section of the digestive system that follows the duodenum. While it does not add additional enzymes to help break down chyme, the jejunum begins the absorption process that continues on in the ileum. Through peristalsis, the nutrients in chyme are able to be absorbed through the villi into the bloodstream.
Nutrients in chyme are absorbed through the villi, which are finger-like projections of the small intestinal wall. The villi's thin wall, called the epithelium, allows for the absorption of those nutrients through diffusion. Capillary beds then absorb those nutrients, minerals, and vitamins, and the blood vessels connected to the villi then carry those nutrients around to different parts of the body. The ileum is the final 2/3 of the small intestine. It follows the jejunum and the duodenum, and it is separated from the cecum by the ileocecal valve. The ileum is a smooth muscular tube that absorbs products of digestion, which are delivered via peristalsis and not absorbed by the jejunum through the villi that line the walls of the ileum. The ileocecal junction is the area where the small intestine connects to the large intestine. Here, the ileocecal valve, a sphincter muscle, sometimes also known as Toll's valve or Bahoum's valve, works to reduce the amount of colonic contents re-entering the ileum. The valve is also where a significant amount of bile acid and vitamin B12 absorption occurs. The large intestine is the last section of the digestive system and gastrointestinal tract. Here, water is absorbed as well as nutrients, minerals, and vitamins. The rest of the dry waste material is stored as feces. The large intestine consists of 4 sections: the ascending colon, the transverse colon, the descending colon, and the sigmoid colon. The large intestine is also the combination of the colon, cecum, and rectum. The rectum is the final part of the large intestine and begins at the end of the sigmoid colon. It is a temporary storage site for feces. When full, the pressure in the rectum forces apart the walls of the anal canal where it enters the anus. The anus is the external opening of the rectum where 2 sphincters manage the exit of feces through the body via defecation, the main role of the anus. The liver is an accessory digestive gland that has a wide array of vital functions. It produces coagulants and anticoagulants. It detoxifies and stores blood. It also stores iron, glycogen, and vitamins A, D, K, and B12. The liver is responsible for the production of bile, later stored in the gallbladder, and amino acids, proteins, and urea. The liver also processes cholesterol.